Have 4 different pieces. We of course have our mirror project. We have this one that we haven't uploaded yet at the time of shooting this. This is our driftwood spatula. It's going to get a food grade finish on it. And then of course we have the gemstone bowl. That is finished with an oil, so we're going to use our oil base finish on here. This is our salad bowl non-toxic finish, and that's going to go on the gemstone bowl and on our mirror because this was finished with oil as well. Then this is a product that has been around for quite a while. A lot of people really liked how this water-based varnish goes on, and of course the cement colored stain, which you're going to see in another upcoming project. Neither of these companies are sponsoring us, just something I picked up at the local store. Our water-based varnish is going to go on our little candle holder. I made this back a little while ago, never shot any video of it, just a fun little piece to do. I embellished these spaces. They weren't natural. Let's just say I was playing around with a little tool and thought I'd augment the bowl. Looks really cool with a tea light in there. We're going to start with this one. My final sanding on this was 120 grit. And so the spatula is going to get our salad bowl finish. I've never used this product before, but it came highly recommended by the staff. So if you'll notice, shake well, bien agité, en français. This here, we're actually going to stir it. I don't like to shake, rattle and roll my stains and products like that around. I prefer to stir them. Keeps the bubbles down. And you know, one of the things you can do when you're storing your paints and stains is store them upside down. That's usually how I store mine. And flip them over upside right every once in a while just to kind of keep things moving around. So I'm going to get this lid off, I'm going to get it stirred, and we're going to get started on our driftwood spatula. Here we go first with our salad bowl finish. Of course, I don't have the regulation can opener, but the little slotted standard screwdriver attachment here works just fine. Definitely smells. It's a strong odor. Have our little popsicle stick here. Give this a stir. Not tinted at all, totally natural. And I'm going to be just as surprised as you are to see what this finish looks like. So we're going to do three coats. We're going to sand in between each coat. We have our tack cloth off to the side. I'll just put this over here out of the way. We have our tack cloth, which we can use in between time. Now you can see kind of the bubbles all gathering together. And we just need a soft cloth. So old sailing t-shirt right here. The more depth it's going to bring to our piece. Should work for our first coat. That can sit over there for right now. Now, the gemstone bowl. This has a few coats of our sealer oil that we had used, so fun and excitement. I'm surprised at how light this is. I was actually expecting this to be a little bit heavier. Look at that on the inside. I don't know how that turns out on the camera, but boy, that's nice, even on the inside there. Okay, well, as we work our way through our finishing stuff today, we're going to get all three done, have that all in the video for you. And I'll wipe off a little bit of the excess. Really has a nice shine to it. Making the camera work a little bit of a challenge. Got to hold it out here a little bit better. There, getting the thumbs up from the production department. You got to look after your camera ops, you know. This had the sealer oil on it, so this is our top coat. And a lot of times you'll maybe stain something or seal something with an oil finish or a water base. And then you still want to let that dry and be able to sand it and do your top coat. And you might like it to be a little bit more shiny. That's cool. Personal preference is always king of the road here. But I definitely like the satin finish. Big fan of that. Looking forward to how these 3 coats are gonna really make this just dynamite. Look at that. Boy, that's gonna be just super. The way it highlights the grain and such. Time for some water-based varnish. This has been sanded really well. Happy with how that turned out. Open this thing up. And there we go. So this kind of reminds me at first look, because I've never used this before. They recommend, the company that manufactures this recommends it for hardwood flooring. And just by first look at it, definitely looks a lot like the higher end finishes that we've used in the past on hardwood floors back in the day. So just making sure there's no solids on the bottom, giving it a good little stir up. Like I said, I don't like to shake things unless I have to. Looks like there's a little bit laying down there. This is stirring footage. Absolutely stirring. All right. Enough with the puns. That was puntastic. Okay. We will say that our stirring is complete. I'm going to use the t-shirt. There we go. See how this looks. Ooh. Have to like how that looks. So same kind of thing. Wipe it on. Wipe the excess off. You definitely get what you pay for in finishes. Don't scrimp on your money for that. This is definitely going to need a sanding, and nice little figure on the bottom. Not look like a fireball. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So this will need a little bit of a sand, but pretty nice from what it looked like just a few moments ago. Really easy application. I like it. It's already, well, unlike the oil, this already dries tacky pretty quickly. But we'll let this sit for a bit. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Spatula. Smells great. It's got another couple coats of beeswax. This is going to have to sit overnight inside before we can put the finish on it. This, however, is ready to go, and I have my proper can opening tool for our finish. And just kind of don't have the usual, all the usual stuff here, but we're going to, this is our claw rag, and just going to get it in there and put some of this on. So this, putting this, having sanded, I should say, and then putting this next coat on, and then sanding again, wiping dust off, and then sanding and using the tack cloth should actually make this look very, very nice. I'm really looking forward to it. The multiple layers will give it a look of depth, which would be great. I believe this manufacturer recommends a minimum of 3 coats, but I don't know if you can really see it on the camera there, but this is already looking really nice. Always really happy to have a nice product to work with. The better the product, the better the end result. So when you're buying stuff like this, maybe you have a brand that you like, but I would recommend not to buy the cheapest thing out there. You want to have the good quality stuff, whether that's windows for your house or kind of vehicle, or you're finishing on your wood. The better the stuff you buy, the better your results are going to be. So you definitely get what you pay for. I don't know if you can really, if the little camera there can pick up what this is looking like in the light, but that is really getting a nice depth. I just have a little bit left to do here, and keep all my bits off. You can kind of, you don't want to let this sit on. I just noticed there was some kind of sitting right along here. Fortunately, that's the top, and we worry about the visible spots. And of course, I just touched right here. Everything looks pretty good. I think I am a little bit low on the finish right down here. Better to do this out here than in the house. It's kind of getting a little bit smelly in there the other day when we did round 1. Make sure you get all those nooks and crannies. Now we're on to our little votive candle. As I showed you before, fixed up my bottom. It was a little rough. Fixed this side up. I had always intended to sand this and get this down. As you can see, I kind of have my little shoulder reveal and then this little piece going up onto the foot. So it's kind of neat. I always like having the smaller feet on the balls with the nice little shadow line. This goes flat and then up onto the shoulder. Nice little reveal. Always cast some shadows, add some dimension to the piece. And of course, you know, that piece is really cool with all the different stuff on there. I know it's a different wood, but look at how it's just different than the oil base finish. Just put a little bit on the inside here, and that'll be it for today. I will say, when you're working with this waterborne stuff, you have less time to wipe off the excess. This stuff, need a different part of my rag here. This stuff dries and beads pretty quick. So just be cautious. We are back. So this has been able to sit overnight. I actually had it sit for a couple of days. Here's our frame after the first coat. And of course, here's the spatula. This looks pretty good. So here's our frame. Just gonna lightly scuff this up. We love having you here. And definitely please give us a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe. We love all that stuff. Just helps the channel. What really helps the channel, if you find a channel you like, similar to ours, present company included, a comment. Leave a comment. That is like huge. And now we don't really push our Buy Me a Coffee relationship site at all. Seems to me, I don't know if the camera will really do it justice, but seems to me that it is bringing out the definition and the colors on there. Yeah, looks pretty nice. So we'll let that sit over there. Here we go. So this is our second coat on this bowl. And stuff goes on really, really nicely. So there's our spatula. Have a great video of this little project. I found it pretty easy to do. Nice, easy little project. And beeswax was the first finish. Now we have the polyurethane, or salad bowl finish, I should say. The non-toxic when cured. That's looking pretty nice. So that's our spatula. That was a great video that we did. That's our second coat. We did a coat of beeswax and now 2 coats of the salad bowl finish. Put a couple of those there just so that it can rest. Here's our mirror frame. Has the second coat applied. So we're going to let that set up. Just wiping off any excess right now. Making sure I got all the nooks and the crannies. I put the bowl on the lathe for round 3. And we are going to flip the switch, get this rolling. I'm going to burnish it with some wood chips. I need to make sure that I don't have anything like that in there. And we're going to burnish this and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll apply it while it's on here. I also have some steel wool and some synthetic steel wool as well. You can see that shine coming already. And I also actually have a little bit of water on there. I'll grab a little bit more of the sawdust. You can see that shine coming on there really nicely. Definitely the wood chips is kind of my preferred method of burnishing the wood and polishing it up. I guess there's also the hand rubbing. A lot of people probably still today like to do the hand rubbing. So you can see there's definitely a bit of a shine to that. There we are. Get some on the inside. Shut it off. Boy, look at that. That'll have to dry. That is coat number 3. This is our waterborne finish. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to try our steel wool on here with some water. Looks pretty good. I don't usually wet sand wood, but I was reading about it and wanted to give it a try. Definitely feels like some water got in through the waterborne finish. Some of it came off. Total experiment, so we're finding out the right and wrong ways to do things. You can see that it's got a little blotchy. That's interesting. Okay, now you might get a better look at that on the overhead. I think it looks pretty interesting. Interesting is good. We like interesting. Maybe not everything that I was going for, but that's okay. I don't mind. I still think that looks pretty nice. It'll be interesting to see what it's like when it dries. Couple things about the oil versus water is just the application of them, not necessarily the durability, but certainly the look, cleanup, and personal preference. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the final coat on each of these pieces. We're going to just start over here with our gemstone bowl. You can check the video of that out on our library. This is with the oil-based finish. Turned out really well. Here's our waterborne finish. No video for this particular vessel. Just a really nice piece. Use it as a candle holder inside the house, little tea light votive inside. The waterborne finish definitely turned out better than I was expecting. Then we move on to our spatula, which was our I think the episode before this one. Go back and have a look at that. Nice figured maple driftwood piece finish, and of course here's our mirror, also a previous video. Our driftwood piece, the same piece of wood that the spatula came out of, and this has its final coat on. Looks really nice. Just as a really attractive mirror frame. Really like that one. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now just to recap for our water stain, or sorry, water finish versus oil-based finish, is cleanup, application, and then the look. So those are the main differences. Really, it comes down to personal preference. A lot of people like the cleanup of the water base, and other people like how they apply the oil base. So it really comes down to personal preference. Thanks so much for watching.